Hey everyone, welcome to their top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 best TV shows of 2018. Yes, 2018 is almost at an end. We just started December, and honestly, not many TV shows are coming out now, and honestly, I don't know any other time I could make this top 10 list, so I thought, now is the time to do it. Here's my top 10, personal favorite shows of 2018. Yes, don't mind the title when it says top 10 best of 2018. Top 10 best of 2018 just sounds better, but really it's technically the top 10 of my personal favorite shows of 2018. Yes, this is all personal opinion, and I can't stress that enough, because a lot of these shows, some people might not like these shows. Some people may not agree they're that good, but these are just shows I had the most fun with, the shows I had the most connection with this season, this year, and just shows I personally loved, and shows I'll probably watch a lot in the future and stuff. And I don't know, these shows really affected me a lot this year, and yeah, and I just gotta say, I haven't seen every show, so there might be some shows that I don't mention. Chances are I probably haven't seen them yet. There's still shows I still have to catch up on. I still haven't seen the second season of The Handmaid's Tale, and I really want to, but I haven't gotten to that yet. I haven't watched, there's a show called Killing Eve. I didn't get to watch that. I didn't watch Legion Season 2. I haven't watched any of that, so there's a few things I haven't caught up on, so they won't be on this list because I haven't seen it yet, but again, I know there's people who are going to disagree with this list, but just keep in mind it's all a personal opinion, so let's get to it. Here's my top 10 best, or just my favorite TV shows of 2018. Alright, and as always for a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Jessica Jones Season 2, Westworld Season 2, Homecoming, Sharp Objects, Glow Season 2, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, and Castle Rock. All really great shows, just give me the top 10 list, but it didn't make my top 10, it was my number 10. My number 10 is probably the show I just had the most fun with. It's not even done yet, but you gotta hear me out on this one. It's Titans. Okay. Yeah, I know everyone's right there, the dislikes are coming. Yes, the effects are kind of bad, and yes, there's some strangeness to it, and it doesn't have that funness as the cartoon. But honestly, I liked this Titans more than Teen Titans Go to the movies. Teen Titans Go to the movies was such a loved movie by critics and stuff, and I never understood why that movie got so much love, and it's just not funny to me. And it's not just because the fact it's nothing like the show, but it's not my kind of humor. And this Titans show is also nothing like the show, but it took a different approach that I like. I like that it takes this material so much more serious, and it's darker, it's grittier, it's raw, I don't know, and I felt connected with the characters, mostly Dick Grayson and Raven. I really enjoy the actors that play them, and I like their kind of chemistry in the movie, and they're interesting characters, they're captivating characters. I like the action in this series. I didn't mind even Starfighter. Starfighter is actually pretty good, and Starfighter, this is a different way of doing Starfighter, but it's kind of cool. Beast Boy is okay. The effects on him are a little silly. There's a lot of flaws with the show, but sometimes imperfection creates sort of this charm for a show and even a movie and stuff, because nothing's perfect. And honestly, this has got nothing to do with it being the best. It's nowhere near as the best show of 2018, and shows like Westworld and Jessica Jones and Glow were way better shows, but just the funny thing is, thing with Westworld, there's a lot of things that were a little too confusing, and there's some episodes that kind of dragged on and stuff, and same with Glow, some episodes kind of dragged on, but the thing with Titans, I'm always entertained and always having fun with it. Even though some things don't make sense and don't add up, I'm just having a lot of fun with the show. That's why this counts in watchability factor and just entertainment and fun factor, and that's why it's one of my favorite shows of the year so far, because I have so much fun with this show, and I'm always excited for a new episode, and I liked the different and darker approach they brought with the Titans storyline, and yeah, I'm having fun with it, and I really enjoy it. Coming at number 9 is Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I just did a whole review of this movie about a month ago and stuff, and I loved the show. I thought this was a really cool show. I like that they took a story that I did not like. I never liked Sabrina. I was never into the Sabrina comics or the Sabrina just television show. I remember the show with Melissa Joan Hart. My sister loved that show. I can never stand it. But when I saw trailers for this new show, it looked pretty interesting. They're taking the Sabrina story and making it more serious and much more darker, but also bringing in that very satirical edge to it as well. And I really loved this show. I thought this was such a good show. I thought Kiernan Shipka was such a great actress, and she was so good as Sabrina. I loved her aunts. I loved how they did, like, Hilda and stuff. I thought they did that all super well, especially Miranda Otto. Miranda Otto was super good in this movie. And I love how they tied in this connection with Sabrina, with the Dark Lord, and that her soul, like, belongs to him and stuff. And then I like how they balanced the witch and wizarding world with the human world and with her friends and stuff. And there's a lot of really dark, weird shit with possessions and stuff. This show is really cool. It's very gothic. It's got like sprinkles of like Buffy the Vampire in it, and that shit's awesome. And just, it's really cool. I loved these characters. I'm excited to see where it's going in next season. And yeah, I thought this was such a great show. One of my favorites of the year. Coming in number 8 is a television show I never thought that would exist, but it did, and it was great, and that's Impulse. Impulse is a YouTube Red television show, and it's based off of the Jumper story. If you all remember the movie Jumper with Hayden Christensen, there you go. That movie that came out, I think it was like the early 2000s, like 2008 or something. I really had a lot of potential with that film. I thought it had some cool stuff in it, and it's not a good movie, but it had potential to be a good movie. Its biggest flaw is that it's super rushed, and it rushes into the story, and you don't care about these characters, and they probably could have chosen better actors, but they just rushed so much of that story in that mythos, and it could have been something really cool and interesting, because I always thought with Jumper, there's an interesting story and an interesting concept with Jumper. And I always thought in my head, they should make that into a TV show and make it more interesting and develop this mythology and this cool fantasy world with these teleporters and these religious people called paladins who will hunt them and stuff. They needed to dive more into that. And then, lo and behold, they made a television show of it this year called Impulse. And it doesn't really have the same characters as Jumper, but I hope they bring those characters into the show, because this show is really, really good. About this girl and stuff with this power of teleportation, which is like jumping and stuff. And these people that do eventually are coming for her, called paladins, who are very religious cult members and stuff. But the show is all just really about this girl played by Maddie Hassan, who does a very good job, and her living in this small town and stuff, dealing with the stuff that she has to deal with, like this boy that tried to rape her and stuff, and dealing with her new sister-in-law, and dealing with all these other things, and you get to know this character, and that's what this whole season is build up to what's about to come in the later seasons, getting to know this girl who's a very enjoyable character, a very likable character, played by a very good actress, and knowing these other characters, and it's fascinating, the story, and I was very engaged from start to finish. I binged this entire series in like a day, and I thought it was really fucking good, and I cannot wait for season 2, and yeah, it was easily one of my favorites. Coming in number 7 is a Netflix/BBC show that I never thought it would be in my like top 10 favorites of the year, but my god did it shock me, and that's Bodyguard. Bodyguard was fucking fantastic. This was a such a good show. I loved this show. Again, I binged it in like a day, and I couldn't get enough of it. It was so good. Richard Madden, again, just proves that he's such a great actor. I loved him in this show, and he was easily the show stealer, and I hope he gets some Emmy nominations in the next Emmy season, and so good. Story of this movie is basically about this guy who's like, he was a troop and stuff, and he has a lot of like PTSD and a lot of problems and stuff, but he gets a job as a police officer protecting a politician and stuff, like it's the Secret Service and stuff. He's protecting this politician who's like part of like the national security and stuff, and his job is to protect her and stuff, even though he doesn't agree with her politics and stuff. And a lot of the newscasts call her like a borderline sociopath and everything. And the more he protects her, the more he learns about her, the more interesting this dynamic relationship starts spawning. And Won't spoil anything else. That's basically the gist of the show. That's just the main plot line, but there's a lot of other things to the show, a lot of things that happen, and even a twist here and there. But this show is so freaking good. I loved this show. I couldn't get enough of it. It was so good. And a show that rarely hooks me in like the first minute. This show did. Literally, I just put the show on just something to watch for background noise while I was like editing and stuff. Literally, like a minute into the show, I just stopped editing and I just started watching the show, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I literally just binged the whole thing because I always wanted to know what was going to happen with this character, what was going to happen to this politician, what was going to happen with this character and that character. I was always engaged of what was going to happen. And it was interesting, it was thrilling, it was very deep and dramatic, had interesting character studies of the two lead characters, and I loved this show. I loved it. I thought the acting was good, the direction was good, the writing was good, the pacing was very good, and it ends extremely good. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. If you guys like pass this through Netflix and you think, oh, that doesn't seem that interesting, honestly, check it out. You will not be disappointed with this one. Coming in number 6 is actually a Japanese animated show, which is like a recurring theme that I have when I make best TV shows of the year. Always guys usually have a cartoon or an anime, and this one was my favorite anime of the year, which is not saying much because I've only watched 3 animes this year, so yeah, I've been slacking on my anime, but yeah, this anime blew me away, and that's Violet Evergarden. Violet Evergarden is, I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix original anime, and a lot of those don't always like work with me, like that show Kin and that show Seven Deadly Sins. Like they're just to me, but Violet Evergarden was freaking amazing. Not only was the animation spectacular, and not only was the lead character very interesting and captivating to watch, but the story and the themes it has are so deep and moving and thought-provoking that I was enthralled throughout the whole series, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I will not dare spoil anything about this show because a lot of shit goes down, but if you're a Japanese anime fan and you love very deep and very moving, and even at times slow-moving shows, that I think you'll love it. If you love shows like Akino's Journey or something, I think you would love something like this. I loved it. Or like even like Spice and Wolf, like how the tone is with that show. Maybe not so much with its comedy, but the tone feels a lot similar to Violet Evergarden. And this, I loved this show. I loved the characters, especially the lead character. I loved the themes it tackles and stuff, and what it means to be human, what it means to live in a world full of violence and stuff, and creating these dolls and creating almost like AI in some sort of way and stuff. It's fascinating, the subjects they tackle in this show, and I loved how smart it was and deep it was and thrilling at times it was, but it's also a very good dramatic story. And the atmosphere is beautiful, the music is beautiful, the animation is beautiful, and these characters are so great, and yeah, easily one of my favorite shows of the year. Coming in number 5 is another show that, again, I've did a review of, and that's Daredevil Season 3. Daredevil Season 3 is probably my favorite season of Daredevil, and I freaking hate that it got canceled. Oh my god. I can't believe Daredevil got canceled. That was such stupid, so dumb. I don't know what Netflix is doing, but Daredevil Season 3 was so good. I loved Bullseye. I loved Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk this season. He was so kick-ass and so badass. Charlotte Cox, again, knocks out of the park as Matt Murdock, and the trials Matt has to go through this season is so freaking good. Again, I love Foggy and all of them. Karen, I love these characters. I think they're all portrayed by great actors. I love that Foggy is trying to run for office, and I love that Matt has to go through some stuff, and he has to battle a villain who's not only like stronger than him, but also can just flat out beat him and everything, and just it's interesting. And I love every season has a big long tracking shot action sequence. And the way they did this season with the prison and stuff was so badass and so fucking cool. And yeah, I loved Daredevil Season 3, and I freaking hate that it got canceled. That was so stupid. Coming in number 4 is a show I never thought I would like, but I actually ended up really loving. And it's a show called You. Yes, You has Penn Badgley, I think the guy's name is. An actor that I don't really care for, but my God, he's good, this show. And I think this is like a Lifetime show or something. Like, so everything about this show screams not for me. But it was fucking great, actually. This is a very unnerving television show, You. I know it's a weird title. You. But it was so good, so maniacal, and just so weird, and just, it got under my skin, and just, because how real it was, and how this guy in the show, like, how he manipulates people, especially how he meets this girl, manipulates her to, like, falling in love with him, because he uses, like, social media and stuff, and just the way he does it in this show is so creepy and so weird and so bizarre that I kind of loved it, and it was so fucking weird. I kind of dug it. I dug how weird and messed up this show was, and yeah, I was all for it. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It ended up being one of my favorite shows of the year. It almost kind of like the show Unreal, how it uses manipulation and stuff in this most despicable way, but it's interesting to watch, but it's so gross and unnerving, but you're like, I can't but be fascinated by it. That's kind of like the show You. I always like to compare it to that show Unreal and stuff, and just like, it's so weird and unnerving, but I can't look away. And it's honestly, it's a really well acted show, and it's a really well written show too, and it's just, it leaves you guessing, but also leaves you interested in seeing what's gonna happen with these people and stuff. And yeah, it was a damn great show, and honestly, check it out, it's great. Coming in number 3 is a show everyone knows I love, and that's Cobra Kai. Yes. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Yes, I love Cobra Kai. Another YouTube Red show. I watched it 3 times this year, and it's fucking awesome. Making a show based off of Johnny is pretty awesome, and he's so great in the show. He's so funny. I love his relationship with this kid that he trains and stuff. Basically, he takes the outcast people who get picked on, and trains them to be Cobra Kai and stuff, and I love it. I love that Ralph Macchio's back as Daniel LaRusso, and he takes Johnny's son as one of his students and everything. It's really interesting. The family drama is great. All the scenes with Johnny and Daniel are so freaking awesome, and yeah, I love the fight sequences, the drama, the comedy. Everything about this show is just so great, and yeah, it's one of the best. Coming in number 2 is another show that I was so surprised how much I loved it, but oh, I love it so much. That's Barry. Barry with Bill Hader is so good. It's so funny. It's so deep. It's so well acted. Basically, Bill Hader in this movie plays a hitman who just, he kills people and stuff. But then he ends up going into this acting class by mistake, but then he realizes, oh, he's a good actor and everything. And he basically wants to give up being a hitman so he can be an actor on stage and stuff. And it's so interesting. It's such a weird idea and weird concept. And the comedy is so dark and satirical that I absolutely loved it. Bill Hader's freaking great. Henry Winkler's in the show. He's great. And just, I love the scenarios. I loved everything about this premise and idea, and just, it was so good. And my number 1 favorite television show of 2018, everyone knows what it is. I did a review of it, how much I praised it and stuff, and that's The Haunting of Hill House. The Haunting of Hill House, again, I've done a whole review, a long review of it, and yeah, I loved it. The performances were great. The cinematography was so good. Mike Flanagan is an absolute genius. This is the best thing he has created. What he did with this show was magnificent. I loved everything. I even loved the final episode. Some people didn't like the final episode, but I really, really enjoyed the final episode. And I loved these characters, especially Kate Siegel as Theo. Theo is like my favorite character. She's so great. It's so creepy, so unsettling. The way they tie in these the backstory and the present story together is so freaking good. I love the actors that played the young versions of the main characters, and I love the adults who played the modern version of the characters. And the acting all around is great. The direction is so great. The writing is absolutely solid. It's creepy. It's unnerving. It's unsettling. It's fucking amazing. It's easily the best show of 2018. So that's my top 10 best or my favorite shows of 2018 in my opinion, obviously. So in the comment section, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? If not, give me you guys top 10 favorite TV shows of 2018. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the docs.